Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. If it wasn't clear already, today made it obvious. Fire danger is high. We are tracking 4 wildfires, all burning within 50 miles of Spokane tonight. Crews spent the last few hours working to contain the fires and warn people in nearby areas to evacuate. The closest one to Spokane shut down an I-90 off-ramp near the West Hills today. The Sunset Fire was threatening several homes and buildings and forced level 3 go-now evacuations for hours today. Tonight, that fire is 100% lined and all evacuations have been downgraded to level 1 or dropped. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk spent the afternoon talking to people who live in the area, many of whom only had moments to pack up and get out.
Tonight, the Spokane Fire Department says it's certain without the help of planes and helicopters, homes along the Sunset Highway would have burned.
You saved hundreds of homes and lots of people's lives.
Carolyn O'Neill has a home here.
I think it's really interesting. You'll figure out what you value in 15, 20 minutes. So it was like documents, the dog, computers, and that's about it.
O'Neill smelled the smoke before she saw it.
I called kind of like the onslaught of neighbors and what is this? Where do we go to find the information? So I was on KREM 2 and like Facebook pages.
The Spokane Fire Department says the fire was reported at 1:57 this afternoon. Officials say it started behind the Catholic Charities shelter.
Just kept getting bigger. The problem was every time we turned around, we had spot fires going somewhere else. So it did jump the road. It started on the south side of the highway here.
Even with additional crews, firefighters were quickly overwhelmed. But thanks to air resources, the fire did not cross into the Sunset Hills neighborhood. But residents like O'Neill were still evacuated.
It's my first evacuation, so I didn't know what the protocol was. So I'm like, do you just bounce when you get the serious? I don't even know what a level 3 is. Is that like worse than a 5? Do we have a 5? I don't know.
Tonight, evacuation levels were lowered to level 1 or get ready for homes north of the Sunset Highway.
We were really only out of our houses for maybe 2 hours. I mean, that's incredible. And the police department, with all the notifications, like they did an incredible job.
The fire is now under control and will be monitored through the night. Spokane Fire says no injuries have been reported and no structures lost. Officials estimate the amount of property saved will be in the millions.
It's a little too close for home, but the Spokane Fire Department kicked some serious butt. They were on it.
In Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
And in Idaho, a wildfire near Hayden Lake is now estimated to be about 100 acres, according to the Idaho Panhandle National Forest. That fire is 3 miles east of the top of the lake. Right now, there are no evacuations in place, but that could change. Earlier today, all boaters and other traffic on Hayden Lake was asked to clear the water for emergency firefighting units. Several aircraft responded. We are working to confirm more details. We will continue to bring you updates as we learn them. Meantime, a fire near Spangle burned 2 to 5 acres today and prompted level 3 evacuations. Since then, all those evacuations have been lifted and no more homes are being threatened. And a string of fires we have been tracking near Cheney since Tuesday are finally winding down after burning nearly 200 acres combined. Both fires prompted evacuations and major responses from fire officials. Putting the fires out proved challenging because of terrain. Yesterday, firefighters had to hike in about a half a mile just to reach the fire line. Still, DNR's Eric Keller says they managed to keep most fires small this season.
We have lots of resources available right now. We have multiple air resources, and that's what helps us catch the fires and keep them small.
Right now, the cause of the fire is still under investigation. All right, let's talk weather. Our hot, dry weather is certainly helping to fuel all these fires. Let's get straight to meteorologist Jeremy the Goo to join us with more on the forecast and our air quality right now. Jeremy?
Mark, this is the first time I've said this late at night this year. It's kind of wild. It's a hot August night, 81 degrees. I think this is the first time we've been in the 80s in the 10 o'clock hour, maybe. Probably not, but here we are. All right, overall, the air quality is still decent. We're on the lower end of moderate, and that's kind of where we've been for the past few hours, believe it or not. I know it smelled like smoke from time to time. And if you do feel like you're laboring a little bit to breathe, just limit the time outdoors. There are air quality sensors all over, but the one that we're reporting might not be the one near your house. But overall, things are looking pretty good across the inland northwest. Calm wind keeps most of that smoke from going too far, but the good news is most of those fires are just at the point where they're smoldering. There's a lot of activity going on to our south and out to our east, and eventually that activity starts making its way toward us. All of that is kind of what the next couple of days looks like. For us, I think it's scattered storms. Those don't hit until Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow, we'll see increasing cloud cover and temperatures top out in the upper 80s.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. Thank you very much. New tonight, 3 teens are behind bars facing felony charges after stealing a car and then running from deputies. According to the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, deputies found a stolen Kia abandoned with footprints on the hood and roof. They also found the name of a well-known group of teenagers that steals and sells Kias written on the car in marker. After checking security cameras, deputies were able to find another stolen Kia driving recklessly. And after a high-speed chase, deputies set up a perimeter and were able to find the suspects and arrest them. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. We have new information in the case against the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students. New filings show that Brian Koberger's attorneys say he was, quote, out driving when the 4 students were killed last November. Court documents say he has a, quote, long habit of going on drives alone. They say that's where he was during the murders of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez. The filings also said there was no witness to say exactly where Koberger was at the time. His trial is set for October 2nd, but his next court appearance is scheduled for August 18th. Meantime, a high-speed chase ended with the car slamming into the side of a downtown building early this morning. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office says a suspect allegedly shot at a deputy in Airway Heights before driving 100 miles per hour down Highway 2. The deputy was not hurt and the suspect sped off, driving the wrong way on Highway 2 and I-90, nearly crashing into Spokane police officers. Then the suspect drove into the side of a parking garage at 2nd and Lincoln. It was later confirmed that car had been stolen. New tonight, detectives with the Washington State Patrol are looking for someone who might have witnessed a crash early this morning on State Route 2. Detectives say just after 6 this morning, a silver Dodge Grand Caravan and a blue Ford Ranger crashed into each other. The driver of the Ford was killed and the other driver was taken into custody. Now detectives are asking for people to contact that number on your screen with any information that might help them in their investigation. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them right to your phone. New tonight, suspicious letters are under investigation after they arrived at 2 election offices in Washington this week. Election workers in King and Okanagan counties found the envelopes when they were counting ballots on Tuesday night, and trace amounts of fentanyl were found on the letter sent to King County. The substance found inside the Okanagan letter is still unknown tonight. Both envelopes are under investigation. Officials don't know yet if they are connected.